Once again, it is awesome that we're here. Here we go.
Game
Black
number
bands.
3 here at DreamHack.
Yep.
Summer 2013. You mentioned before, it's actually a little bit unusual for the entire series to go to a best of 3, and throughout the entire playoffs, this is the only best of 3 matchup. How perfect can you get here in the grand finals?
I don't think we could have asked, but I truly think, and maybe this is just me speaking in the moment, it could be very possible, but I really think this is probably one of the best events we've ever seen in HON, if not the best. I mean, it's just from the group stages, from the bracket stage, now that we have this amazing grand finals here of this matchup. We're going to a game 3. You know, again, what more can you ask for? So,
breaky.
What's that? No,
you called it.
So, yep.
You called it, actually, and I was
Same
almost
thing.
certain, but now, going to see whether it's actually addressed in the locking pool. I said, you know, even if Wild Soul gets thrown into the locks, pretty hard to actually pick it up there due to the nature of what usually finds its way. We're seeing that Ophelia-Tempest matchup again. We saw in the previous games. Game 1, they actually chose the Ophelia as well.
Yeah.
Just weren't able to utilize as well. Chelsea have an amazing game, hitting 400 gold per minute and pretty damn early, picking up an early barrier idol as well on top of that Astrolabe, and they really had no answer. Game 2, a different story. They managed to keep him pinned down. You see Swindlemelons locking up bubbles, though. A huge pain in the ass for them last game, and also, once again, acting as sort of a ban. Here. I mean, just if the lock pool sort of follows the typical nature of seeing that Pebble, seeing that they're obviously thinking about it a lot here, seeing how to follow suit in response, it is a little bit unusual. Besides that, the Pharaoh being thrown in. Someone's actually banning out the Pharaoh in the previous game, and Rally top things off. And, well, they know that, hey, they're probably going to grab Rally as a companion to whoever their jungler choice is in the end. Or will they? War Beast, instrumental to many of Stay Green's games and their success. For a long time, people just overlooked it and they didn't address it playing against Stay Green. Either they weren't sold on it or they weren't expecting it because it was so unconventional to see it played in that suicide role. Now, locking it up, it's makes things interesting for both things though, because Complexity very capable of utilizing that War Beast as well. And Rally losing a game last time, maybe they're okay with letting it slide.
Deadwood, the first ban coming out, followed by Engineer right here. So
yeah, Pebbles with that Deadwood ban, almost expecting to see Fade. Would be not surprised at all to see Pebbles banned out as well. They don't want to give Complexity the option of having that Bursty Primary Initiator taken out of the normal pool, and then being able to grab something like a Suicide or what have you out of the lockpick. There's the Magnus.
Respecting the Swagmas there. Not want to deal with that, so one more ban on either side now. Who is it
not going to ban out that Pebbles?
Talks about Pebbles.
Tundra actually not addressed at all here so far.
Yeah.
Still, I haven't seen Complexity running it, even in the games where it slipped on through. Would it be a change of pace for them? Maybe they haven't been practicing it as much lately, and running it would just feel awkward.
Yeah, perhaps. We'll see. We'll see.
A lot of time going into this.
Here. Yeah, it's not usually this much, but Beacon really wants to make sure.
Go a lot of ways here with this last ban. Master of Arms, Moon Queen. Master of Arms, Moon Queen. What else is on the board here?
Okay, Wretched Hag.
Wretched Hag. Pebbles. What will Swindlemelons do in response? I have a feeling like he's going to leave Moon Queen in the game. May not want to leave Master, however, given the fact that Complexity has been picking up a lot of Ophelia. And a first pick, well, still, he might go, like, bait them into a Master pick, saying, hey, I want to be able to get that Pebbles in response. So banning out the...
There's the Wild Soul.
The Wild Soul instead.
Yeah,
mentioned Shitzy. I actually forgot that he actually made it through the entire way there. If they
line.
grab Master of Arms, Swindlemelons almost certainly to grab Pebbles Torture in response.
Master of Arms.
So they know they're giving a very powerful pick, but probably
Witch Slayer.
Pebbles Witch Slayer dropping the Torture.
Yeah. How about that? So not going to run the Torture this time around. Slick's running it so much, but not this time. Perhaps going to run the Pebbles again.
They do still have the option. And part of the strength of Master Arms as a first pick is you don't need to run him as a carry. Able to run him as a support as well, so you don't reveal too much when you actually go with the Master of Arms draft. Meanwhile, on the Hellborn side, it's pretty clear that they want to support as their next pickup. They're not running a Witch Slayer to support. He's just too weak in the early game. In a meta game where the early game seemingly is everything as you try to gain that early momentum.
Yeah. Back over to Complexity again. They've already used a bit of time on that banning stage, so now that...
Maybe going to go for something like an Aluna or perhaps a Glacius again, but an Aluna would deny them that Pebbles-Aluna combination. Gauntlet again!
We get the Gauntlet here. Beacon
really
my showed that
God, here
play.
Are you? And the Aluna to follow it up. I told you, Breaky, I told you even going to this event off stream that they've been practicing that Gauntlet. I was watching the scrims, and he was actually having a fantastic time with it. actually played it against Stay Green, I believe, in Game 2 of their playoffs matchup, and they took a very sound early game advantage where, while they'd established a sound lead, got a little bit overzealous and kept creating these ganks. Like
he played it well, though.
Yeah, he played it very, very well.
Secret weapon there. Coming out for complexity, you can kind of say.
Not the first time we've seen a gauntlet in the grand finals, though.
What was
I'm
that?
joking. DYA. I'm doing a throwback to the game back then.
Yes, that was a while ago. But yeah, seeing Gauntlet here, I imagine the crowd was definitely happy about that at the DreamHack arena as well as on the stream. So again, just a fun hero to see, and not one we get to see often.
I think a fun fact about that is over in Thailand, when I was talking to Stay Green a lot and talking about their strategies and what have you, they actually felt like Gauntlet was an underrated hero that could see some play, and that was before the Gauntlet buff.
Yeah.
Pyromancer. Yeah, it was pretty much between Pyromancer and Torture. They were thinking about it a lot. Pyromancer seems to be Z-Freak's support hero of choice, though.
Not much thought put into that. Maybe thinking about it earlier, of course, but Ophelia is the first pick. There you go. Tempest Warbeast coming out here for Stay Green. And now Complexity going to final pick right here. You got other bubbles. All three of those good suicide options. So
this is an incredible lineup, actually, when paired with Ophelia. Two things I look for when I see an Ophelia. I want to make sure that the carry isn't one that really requires a lot of items to get going. I like to see heroes that pick up those Steam Boots vestments, and then all of a sudden you can team fight, because Ophelia relies a lot on that early momentum, that early pressure.
Yeah.
And I like the other thing I like to see is that burst hero, something like a Gauntlet in this case, but also Pebbles, a Deadwood, something of that nature.
Yeah.
Moon Manor picking up Pharaoh last, but yeah, the Gauntlet. Part of the strength of having that early burst hero is, say you initiate a fight, catch them off guard, kill them really quick. All of a sudden it's a 4v5, against an Ophelia heal, against a Master of Arms shield. They just won't have enough damage to pick it, and that could result in one or even two towers pushed in a consecutive manner. So a very well balanced team here, very sound initiation on both sides. Stay Green has shown the power of the Warbeast before.
Yeah, both these teams have. But yeah, Keizu knows what he's doing, to say the least, when it comes to that Warbeast, especially in the suicide role. I want to comment on this Pharaoh pickup here. Several reasons why, honestly, when we were looking at those last three, I was definitely leaning towards Pharaoh, and sure enough, he gets picked up. And the reasons being because Tempest, and he's considered a very solid counter against Tempest for multiple reasons. On top of that, though, Warbeast could also be considered pretty bad against him in cases with that mummy wall. How even with the shrunken head, Warbeast gets caught in that mummy wall, running back and forth, hitting the walls, and can't get out of it, obviously.
And you're not going to get tableted out if you're shrunken headed either.
Yep.
Forcing him in, that's where barbed armor comes into play too. In a cage match with Warbeast, doesn't matter, got barbed armor.
Yeah, exactly. So, Pharaoh definitely makes reason here.
Sure, well, what would you say the most surprising thing about it? Actually seeing a rally passed up again here. Losing the previous game, being passed up here in favor of overall more synergistic lineups.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are really strong heroes, even god-tier heroes at the top of the scene that we saw even when Wild Soul was being picked up all the time. Occasionally teams would pass over him saying, hey, just doesn't fit the style we're running with this game and the nature of our normal draft, so going to have to let him slide.
Yep. So the horn blows and the creep spawn, of course, going to happen here. And into the laning phase, we will be able to develop, the Hellhounds.
Warbeast, the Hellhounds, scouting things out, but more than that, actually going for the creep pull here.
Yep.
Part of what makes Warbeast so strong is, as a suicide, is the fact that he's able to use those Hellhounds to get lane positioning, much like how a Keeper of the Force is able to accomplish the same thing, and at the same time, help his team out in the other lanes with that battle cry.
Yeah. Trough did all he could, and actually, Ophelia will be able to pick up the one Hellhound as a result of the damage Trough did initially. But the pull will still be successful, of course. That's the second one.
See how he's hitting each creep. Oh, I'm actually not watching the bottom, but yeah, he's just making sure he pre-hits each creep once there. The formula for making sure you get all the last hits at a tower early game. The range hero without a hatchet.
Yeah. And make sure to do so right there. So, well played. Top lane matchup. Your Witch Slayer being played by Swinamones here. Witch Slayer versus Swag Meander's Pharaoh. So again, Moon Meander plays a fantastic Pharaoh. He usually likes to go the Striders. We'll see if that continues to here. I mean, it pretty much seems like he always goes Striders, honestly. So,
yeah, I mean, sure, the stats are nice, but you have to keep in mind Striders are a lot cheaper as well. Can eventually upgrade to Posei since a couple changes ago, and more importantly, though, yeah, Striders, he instead opposite. He gets an earlier helm, he gets an earlier whatever it is that he's used to boost his health instead. Because yeah, you're spending about 700 less to pick up those Striders in the first place.
Yeah,
losing out on attack speed, but Pharaoh really doesn't care about that.
So he's continuing to go at it with Witchslayer once again, but another thing to keep in mind, as we always talk about with the War Beast in the lineup, especially in that suicide formation, spamming that battle cry. Obviously only level 1 right now, but as he starts to level it up, more and more effective for his team, and brings that global presence. And as far as the laning, with the laning phase, and then eventually for pushing those towers, really on top of that. So
what I fear for most for complexity, and what I think is really going in Green's favor, is Pebbles Pyro, already a very, very powerful kill lane. Add that battle cry on top of it. I talk about how sometimes, a lot of times, in order to make something happen in mid, the 2v2 matchup is not enough. You can a lot of times go on a hero, but due to people playing careful, you only get them down to about 50 or 100 health before they walk away.
Yeah.
That battle cry is an X factor, though, providing that bonus auto attack damage. Oftentimes, all you need to secure the kill.
Man, Moonmeander did a lot of damage to Swinamels. He eventually got away, used to health potion, but immediately it was canceled by Tormented Soul. I don't know if Swinamels just figured there wasn't enough mana on Moonmeander at the time, but he actually got it canceled pretty quickly right there. So using some regen, that right away falls off, of course. So not a huge deal, but
so far back and forth this Witchslayer, actually securing a lot more of the creep farm, but burning through a lot of his regen. Witchslayer not sitting on much more, but has that ranged harass, has near infinite mana in lane thanks to the use of power drain, and is going to keep Pharaoh at bay. Going to be curious to see if he ferries out some extra regen.
Yeah.
Maybe even a bottle here in this matchup.
Just a quick adjustment, and it looks like the players are good to go. From the sound of it, the players are very happy with the setup there at the arena in terms of the computers and everything. I know in the past there's been some
lag issues.
Yeah, some lag issues and whatnot, but this time around apparently everything was pretty good, so that was great to hear.
Chessie quoted as saying they were excellent this year.
Yeah, it's good to hear, very good to hear.
Pleased with the improvement.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to see is technical issues holding back from a great match in the end. So, Moonmeander, one auto attack away right there from a death again.
Had a mana battery, though.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually calculated, so he did have the mana battery. If he managed to get the auto attack off, he would not have died. So, not putting himself in that risky of a position. Still being edged out here at the tower. Witchslayer wants to stop him doing everything. He has boots of speed. Going hard for the kill. Oh, the juke not going to be able to get it.
Oh, he gets stuck, and down goes Moonmeander. So Swinamels picks up the smackdown bloodlust kill right there. 3.5 minutes into the game. Yeah, he tried to juke, but he just got knocked back.
Actually, exactly. There wasn't actually the tree line that he thought. And
meanwhile, middle lane, Gauntlet gets picked off. Tempest came in with a gank. Glacial Blast used, and Gauntlet gets picked. So
yeah, in the dual lane matchups, like to fall back to see which jungler gets active sooner. Tempest not only out leveling Ophelia in the woods, but also getting active and creating the pressure for the mid lane. Now they have the battle cry. Now they have the levels. Now they have the stronger jungler. This entire early game phase going massively in favor of Stay Green.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. So complexity needs to not let it get too out of hand. Of course, with that said, again, we're only 4 minutes in now. So
you can tell a lot in 4 minutes, though.
Yeah. You can. I mean,
let's not kill ourselves. I mean, momentum is everything here.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they can't make it back.
Of course. Master of Arms is having a decent time at the bottom lane. Tralfamador, of course, playing the Master of Arms in this case. He's going to be relying on him for that more of a carry presence eventually, but perhaps that early Energizer. Wouldn't be surprised to see that on him. Good utility for the team, obviously, as well as himself. Yep.
Look at the momentum. I talked about staying out 4 minutes, man. At 4.5. Witchslayer timing his stun so he's in hit level 6 in the mid while Moonmeander caught off guard and initially had 250 GPM, 260 to Witchslayer's 200. Got him low enough, didn't ferry out any extra regen in the end, and now suffering. He wanted the bottle. He did want the bottle in the end.
Yeah.
The time invested. It's a matchup that should have gone better. I mean, he did okay. You saw him doing well.
Oh, yeah.
Just that one moment where Swinamels found that moment, punished him. Diving deep at the tower, probably wasn't expecting that aggressive play, and all of a sudden, gonna either need some gank help or be forced out of this top lane.
Yeah, you mentioned the boots of speed made all the difference there in that first Bloodlust kill, or in the Bloodlust kill, and then obviously right there hits level 6 and completely catches Pharaoh off guard as soon as he does. So now he has a 3-level advantage, so all of a sudden Moonmeander's, well, he's in a very difficult spot, but as we saw, in earlier on, with his Bubbles play where he got bloodlusted in that series against SGU, I believe it was, all of a sudden he's, taking over for his team and being the biggest factor, really. So definitely a player that has a lot of comeback potential himself, but already dying twice, definitely hurting things. Getting that level 6 mark, though, setting up a rat to the Pharaoh, and all of a sudden all is good, right? So we'll see if that eventually comes to fruition or not.
Warbeast so far being well, pretty much dominated, but you would expect that in 1v1 Warbeast versus Master Arms matchup, still using his Wolves again to pull the creep wave back. Going to regain some lane control here. Also, don't forget about War Beast's ability to turn to the Ancients when things get sticky.
Yeah. Pharaoh going back and forth right here, but again knows that he does not want to put himself in any more danger. He's already died twice, does not want to die a third time, especially this early on in the game. Tempest assisting, a little bit of a push at the top lane, it looks like. Again, the Battle Cry level 3 now, so even more damage assisted for the whole team. And looks like they're going to start applying some good pressure to the top tower here, especially with that Battle Cry. Look at Witchslayer again doing what he did before. He doesn't have the Silver Bullet just yet, but they're going to go on a Pharaoh, but maybe timing a little bit too much, or did he? Pyromancer comes in, the save on a Pharaoh, the Mana Battery, the defensive master's call, down goes Witchslayer. Chessie's on the run, he's going to go down as well. We do see Pyromancer now, he's going to try to run away, but the Gauntlet, he grapples right there. What did he grapple? The Warder Rev put down. There's the auto attacks, but Pebbles, I think it might just be outside of the range of the Rev, so he didn't even know he was there, and he ends up grappling him. Pyromancer is going to fall, but Pebbles is going to be lucky enough to get away. Wow! That was something.
All you can say there is completely baited out. I mean, they had a ward. I'm trying to see what actually set that up in the first place, and let's actually take a look there. Peter Pandam, with that ward of sight, actually, that was freshly placed. I'm taking a look. Actually, that ward of sight has full duration, stacked on top of the Ward of Revelation. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he just placed it, so that'll get countered out.
Oh no, Gauntlet may get turned to Torment. So it does connect, but Pebbles not going to fall. The last auto attack from Gauntlet not able to get off. Well played right there by Slicks, doing enough to stay alive in the end. Another Tormented Soul up in 8 seconds. Well, oh, that was close. The
Red
power throw. Yeah, that's the other thing they have. Kind of forgot about that one. They also have one of those.
It's always, that's the Luna synergy too. Whenever you have a bursting issue, the Fade, the Pebbles, the Deadwood.
Yeah.
Luna, you can almost consider that a free codex. Activates the Emerald Red, times it with the Initiate. Power throw from, well, halfway across the map. Pretty much guaranteed.
Yep. Pyromancer doing some counter warding. Z-Freak.
Oh, God, the ward baiting him out again. I mean, they figured he was going to go counter ward it.
Yeah.
Rushing there right away. Only a Ward of Revelation to spot them coming.
Valiant effort, Z-Freak, but goes down in the end. So Pharaoh's level 6 now. Again, you know what that means. Wrath of the Pharaoh is going to be up here. So.
You said it, Brick. Yeah, I talked about early momentum, saying a lot, but doesn't mean they can't turn it around.
Of course.
One big play as Stay Green, in a rare case of overextension there, being baited out by Moomander on that Pharaoh in combination with the Red Master's Call, the defensive Master's Call, setting it all up into momentum that seems to be spiraling now in Complexity's favor.
Yes, sir, it does. Now coming up to the 9-minute mark here. Gauntlet and Pebbles again going back at it. Stalagmate's coming in. Look at the Hellhounds even assisting as well. The Chuck going to be used. Gauntlet on the run. Inferno instability going to be used, though. And that, of course, gives him a speed burst, and it will be enough for him to get away, it looks like. So Steam Boost delivers him in the meantime, but he is going to be fine in the end. Bottom tower push in the meantime, coming out for Complexity, but look at Stay Green. They're going to try a little bit of a mid-counter push here. See if they can be successful with that.
Gauntlet, too, talk about Devo being a counter pusher as well, and how one huge hook can sort of turn out. Look at a Gauntlet. Not only does he have the same hook range, a little bit longer cooldown, but his hook actually goes through creeps. So, actually a little bit easier to set up sometimes against this massive creep pushing team.
Yeah. So the hold in the middle lane is successful by Complexity. In fact, Stay Green didn't even attempt to really go further into that tower. So the bottom tower kill, and look at Tralfmador transitions middle and says, well, let's push the middle tower now, perhaps. Places down the goo and push back the creep wave. So being joined up by a couple of his teammates here. Look to make that happen. Tralfmador has been having a great game, and again, the goal per minute chart is going to speak for itself with that, as far as what he's able to pull off so far.
Yeah, just taking a look here in the mid lane.
Energizer is going to be built by Master of Arms, of course, as he does have that Soul Scream ring. I mentioned that earlier. It just seems like a go-to for him, especially.
So taking a look at Stay Green's lineup.
Yeah.
Witchslayer had a phenomenal start. Absolutely dominated Pharaoh in that 1v1 matchup. Was 3 levels up at one point, level 7 when he was level 4. Still, they have a great team. They don't have the initiation yet. Pebbles did not find the farm at all. He wasn't picking up the CS in mid. Actually only sitting at 19 in 1 total. Dominant Gauntlet completely controlling it. He's a 1-0-0 Pebbles that only has 100, not much gold at all. So it's like, at that point in time, you got to be worried. Like, he doesn't have his upgraded boots yet. He's looking forward to trying to make a recovery in this game.
Slicks is most certainly struggling here.
Pebbles is one of those heroes that you're like, if you're picking him up, you're looking for that snowball advantage.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. Priority farm, if there's any hero, especially that's picked up constantly in the competitive scene, it definitely is Pebbles. That requires it, not even necessarily requires it, but definitely is very good to have on him. So.
Meanwhile, I'd like to see maybe, yeah, if not Pebbles, as Witch Slayer, I'd like to see one of them just pull back, play more passive game for a bit. Don't try to force fights anymore. Get a portal key up first. Still, even with the portal key, when you have a Pharaoh on the opposing team, initiation usually in their favor.
Tower push and vulnerability coming out, so Stay Green can try to delay it a little bit, but it's not going to be nearly enough right there. One of the Catman champions did fall for Ophelia, but again, I'm sure not too concerned in the end. Is Riser, so another tower push, and Complexity maintaining a lead at least here in this game. When you look at the gold, with the 2,500 gold lead here. Master of Arms portion of the top lane. Again, he recently finished that Energizer. So we'll see where he goes for next. Is it more of the battle build perhaps with a Shrunken Head, or maybe that Geometer's Bane, or initially the Firebrand at least?
Taking a look, I mean, I see the Witch Slayer initiate, I see the Pebbles, I see the...
yeah, seems like Shrunken Head.
Shrunken Head would appear to be pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure that would earn the trial seal of approval in a case like this, so
yes.
Gonna toss that his way. Actually, unusual to see him even pick up the Firebrand first. I've seen him go Shrunken Head most of the time.
Oh, Mumiander trying to sidestep right there, but he cannot. However, Defensive Master Call comes out. Will it be enough in the end? Will the Healing Touch make it enough, however? He's going to use the Wrath of the Pharaoh in the face. Maybe buy some time for his teammates. Ophelia's coming in right here. Pebbles taking a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough. So in the end, Pharaoh does fall. The bit was used, but they get the kill. And again, Complexity not able to react. And if anything, a bit was used also on Complexity's side with the Ophelia's Touch, the Wrath of the Pharaoh, and the Master Skull.
Seemed like they wanted to try to get a turnaround, but didn't see them all react either. And Ophelia was there, but the Mummy Wall sort of boxing out his creeps. So it was a really awkward situation. I mean, they used the Red Master Skull. They used the Ophelia's Touch. I mean, Pharaoh ultimately using his ultimate as well. So...
Stay Green again, grouping up as if they're going to push the tower, but in the end, they do not go full throttle there. They will fall back before anything dangerous happens, and instead, Complexity will gladly push out the lane here. Take advantage of a little bit more farm. Obviously, we talk about portal key on Pebbles all the time. Gauntlet, another hero that perhaps could be looking for that early portal key. Maybe next in line, the Steam Boots, Mystic Vestments, Bottle Power. I mean, hell, he's all about the build-up here, but portal key... very possible here as far as next. Witch Slayer also thinking of the portal key, I'm sure.
One thing about Gauntlet, especially compared to a hero like Pebbles, a little bit less reliant, kind of like a Devourer, that he has that long range hook, a little bit less reliant on a portal key to get his snowball going personally. A lot of times you see him actually go for a tank build instead. You have something to help in the Black Legion, so curious to see how B-Kid approaches this game.
To the tower we go. Stay Green's going to put up any resistance here. See Pharaoh scouting out to see if there's any possibility of a flank perhaps, or...
I don't know, man. They're applying a lot of pressure here to mid. Tempest seems to have made a point of wanting to kill. They have the Battle Kite growing. They have all the Tempest minions multiplied. They're just going to let it fall, content with that trade.
Bottom tower in the meantime, though. Master of Arms does port all the way down there, and he actually just is going to push this one back. So Warbeast was trying to pick up on his own farm. He's still working on that Abyssal Skull even. Didn't have the best to start, but again, a Suicide Wild, or Warbeast, excuse me. That can obviously happen, so he is recovering, it looks like, at least. He's doing his best to do so.
Sure not the easiest 1v1 matchup to start things off. And you got to remember, this game was pretty dominantly in Stay Green's favor early on until that dive top. Right now, sound pick off onto Pharaoh, keeping the experience much tied between the two teams if you look at the levels.
Yeah. Just over 15 minutes in now. We're tied at 4 hero kills apiece here. Just like I mentioned last game, I mean, it tends to be a little bit more of a passive play in the end, it seems like, at these stage matches. But
passive in terms of hero kills, but they've still been poking, provoking them, pushing down the tower, seeing if they'll make a response. We saw that exchange in mid. It has still been some action.
Yeah. This is Game 3, ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to be just tuning in, and this is it. The winner of this game right here will be your DreamHack Summer 2013 champions. Both Complexity and Stay Green have been looking great throughout this whole event. They've gone back and forth. They've met. This is the 3rd time in total they've met in this tournament alone. What better way to decide, right? Chessie going to push to that top tower with his teammates. Of course, he gets credit for it, though. Not the first tower, but the secondary middle tower is being pushed on by Complexity. This is going to be a point. Will Stay Green defend? Maybe. Nope, they're not. The tower falls. Nothing really coming out. Seems like they're going to split push.
The difference is, Complexity was investing 5.
Yeah.
Stay Green had Warbeast farming the side the entire time, pushing out the bottom lane.
True.
So a lot more of experience being accrued in favor of Stay Green.
Ports back to base. Get on out of there. Tralfamador in the meantime will, again, come back to the bottom lane and push it back. But in the meantime, at the top side, you got Pyromancer, Tempest, and Pebbles all pushing up here. So let's see what they can make happen, but see how long they stay in the end. If much longer here.
So once again, this game seemed to have been focusing on more avoiding each other and pushing down towers elsewhere. Each team wanting to build up and get the resources going, get into that mid-game stride before they force a fight.
Not going to happen, it looks like. Once again, Stay Green. Neither team really getting involved in that fight here. Call it again. That portal key is still working on it. Keep an eye out for when he does pick it up. Only still 17 minutes in, so.
Yeah, I mean, if he does, we mentioned before, it's not unusual to see a tank build on Gauntlet as well.
Yeah.
Saw it in the previous matchup where he was actually playing against Stay Green.
Oh, yeah.
Opted to go with the Helm of the Black Legion investments first. Granted, in that game, I was like, oh, where's his portal key? I feel like he'd be doing so much if he had it. They also had a rally to compel forward to create some big plays that game, too, so a little bit less reliant. I personally would love to see a Gauntlet with the portal key here.
Definitely provides for a little more entertainment, to say the least, as far as that goes. But approaching 18 minutes now. Warbeast going to continue to push back out to the bottom lane in the meantime. You got Ophelia from back to top. She's coming along nicely. The Astrolabe played a Graves Ring of Sorcery here on top of the Ring of Teacher. So your typical Ophelia doing great when it comes to the utility items and supporting whatnot.
Actually looking at Peter Pandam playing a Looter there, actually picked up a Fortified Bracer. Did the initial bolstering armband, getting a little bit of stats across the board, and in spite of his teammate Ophelia having the Astrolabe, just picking it up mainly for the stats and survivability, but Fortified Bracer over Vestments, probably because he was able to piece it together over time instead of buying in one chunk.
B-Kid did show his portal key down here, in fact going in right now once again, so Gauntlet making the point that he has the portal key here, not afraid of that. Not finding any opportunity just yet, so.
And I actually love seeing that Gauntlet with the portal key too. The Blink ultimate into the hook back into your team.
Yeah, we do see that. Well, I want to say quite a bit. Obviously, don't see Gauntlet too much, but we happen to. Oh, Master of Arms! So see right there, Dragon Fire stun attempt, but just a little late.
Well, you're just going for it though. I mean,
yeah. See Freak trying to catch Master of Arms completely off guard there. Misses though.
Bottom lane, one of 2 outer towers remaining for Stay Green. Now being pressured.
The goo put down, so perhaps some interaction between the two teams going to be coming out here.
They've got the limes to make for an absolutely insane mid-game fight.
Yeah.
Both the teams will scale well as the game approaches late. Master Arms being a phenomenal carry at that, but still confident in their lineups, it seems, as neither team is backing down just yet. One fight during this stage of the game, if it's overwhelmingly in one side's favor, usually tells the rest of the story.
Oh, yeah. Especially in this matchup here. I mean, look how hard hit Pebbles is hitting, especially with that Battle Cry going off there, but all the way up to 185 max damage on Pebbles when he gets that Battle Cry buff. And that is quite often, of course. He's just spamming that. In fact, he's coming off cooldown here. And he'll probably use it just any second now, maybe to wait for the actual initiation. But once again, just poking a little bit his complexity, trying to get some more information, see if they can find the pick chance themselves, but nothing just yet. Master of Arms is showing off his Mighty Blade, and so the Shuriken Head very likely is going to be the works for him. Again, it kind of made sense here.
We see Witch Slayer has that portal key. Pebbles with that portal key. I mean, they were scouted out by Pharaoh's rocket, so they are aware.
Yep.
What will they do with it?
Not too much yet. I don't think either one's even used it yet. Oh, there we go. Gravels with his tired of waiting. Goes on the Pebbles, but they're going to be tapping the backwards. Witchslayer jumps in. Gravestar misses everyone, though, as far as heroes are concerned. And the Wrath of the Pharaoh got to catch Witchslayer. How far comes out? Will he get the pursuit? In jumps Pebbles on a Master of Arms. The Ophelia's touch going to be used. Pharaoh in no man land in the background. Defensive Master's Call on himself. Warbeast being locked down. The Tempest ultimate wasn't even used right there. I think it was. Yeah, canceled immediately. And now he's trying to back up. Nobody dead yet. How is nobody freaking dead here? Unbelievable.
They're attempting to run the power shot, potentially going to stop it.
Oh, there
Doesn't
you go.
have the mana even to blink out, and the follow-up from Gauntlet bringing him down. So amidst all that chaos, ultimate's being used. A Pharaoh hook. Elemental Void canceled right away. No blazing strikes, though.
He's still going back in. The port is coming in. Okay, so the buyback happening right here on Deuce Wyndham. Now he's going to jump back in a big Stalemate by hitting 3 heroes in total. The Mummy Wall is going to come up as well from Pharaoh, but down goes the Luna in the background. The Mummy Wall going to block off the rest of Stick in for a little bit, and if anything, Moomian is going to distract him as long as possible. So this will be 2 kills here for State Green, but Complexity, the rest of them are going to fall back. So minimal casualties, I guess, but wow, that was.
You weren't too much of a fan. You mentioned before you weren't too much of a fan of them actually opting to sort of stay around.
Yeah.
You feel like they've just been getting out of there, been happy with their 1 kill, be happy they cancel on the void and have at you. Now, actually, we see no buybacks on Complexity's side either. So
yeah,
State Green just taking absolute control of that fight. Well-timed buyback by Swindle Melons.
There you go. They spot
Changing
the
the face
right
of this
there.
game.
It's going to be killed though. Nothing they can do about that.
Putting it on Witch Slayer too, which now he can be a lot more bold in his initiation. Doesn't have to worry about getting countered on right away, and that disable as the fight goes on will prove crucial. Didn't want to give away the Concord attempt right there, of course, but yeah, when they actually got picked off, both the heroes, I think Luna and Pharaoh, only 150 gold, had no way to recover and get into the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of wondering what Slicks was almost doing. He's kind of just standing there as he was being jumped back in by Complexity. But yeah, the more you looked at the big picture, Complexity kind of going into a fight, especially after that buyback from Witch Slayer, not really ready when they had already the advantage initially. Getting the buyback to be used, but information just didn't get there in time for whatever reason. And again, we saw the end result. So Complexity maybe not too happy with that decision in the end, of course, but we do have a 23-minute game here, and it is proving to be a very close game with that said. Obviously, again, this being game number 3, wouldn't expect really anything different, and that is a good thing. Last thing you would want is a stop on one side, of course, so for sure happen.
So Pebbles shows that Mighty Blade pickup. Keen to go for a straight Shrunken Head now. Warbeast's buddy as well, going to go for that Shrunken Head. And otherwise, we saw Tempest. Well, we would normally see a Portal Key with the straight 2,000 gold save, going for that tablet. And the reason he went that tablet, he's up against a Pharaoh. Rough tablet providing a lot of utility there, and well, made Pharaoh think twice about using his walls too, even after hooking the Witch Slayer initially.
Pebble showing himself here, kind of peeking in and out on the creep wave. Looking to find an opportunity himself. If anything, just keep the bottom lane pushed up here, of course. E2 has that Mighty Blade, so Portal Key going to possibly be coming out right here. He's scouting out the tournament. It's only spotted Witch Slayer, obviously, but not going to really follow it up, it looks like. And Witch Slayer with that token of life, as we were talking about.
Mentioned before, all it takes is one big team fight, one clean wipe. Game will be all but decided from that. Actually, see Warbeast sick of sort of hanging out in the bottom lane, so screw it. Force to the top lane, a huge wave being done, and well, on a quest to pick up that Shrunken Head.
It's not 100% the Tundra effect by any means, but having both a Pharaoh and a Luna gives you just so much vision to work with in terms of when you're pushing,
long range presence in terms of tower defense.
You saw a bit of that in that push attempt right there by State Green. So
Warbeast having removed himself from the bottom lane, they're finding the confidence to push this secondary defense tower.
Oh, Pharaoh's trying to win a
huge hook initiation
right there. There's the ultimate from Colin to follow. Pebbles trying to save his teammates, but it's not going to happen. Tempest will fall before doing anything. Pebbles gets the Stalagmites to check off. The defensive master's called on to Colin, keeping it alive. The Affiliate's touch going to be used. Pebbles barely alive. Jesse did buy back. He's coming back in. Portal Key's going to be used. Nice collar right there. Grapple trying to get away after got X, and he will survive. It looks like he's being ported back, going back in. He will eventually get back and be fine. Again, Moon Meander is the sacrificial lamb there, but the rest of Complexity looks like they are ultimately going to get away. So they did get another buyback to be used there. This one on Jesse.
Yeah, Moon Meander running the decoy, showing that he's not afraid to sort of sacrifice himself to save his teammates. So, excellent job proving to be distraction. The Ophelia port back out of the gauntlet. Pebbles initially escaping from that fight with only about 100, maybe less, maybe a little bit more health.
That would have been a big kill.
Absolutely.
To get it.
Still, we saw that buyback. Was forced to be used on Chessie. Still low level, so it didn't cost him that much.
We also got to see a little bit of what can happen if a good clump up appears. Obviously, Pharaoh can set up that mummy wall and really set up an easy gauntlet blast from Gauntlet, doing the stun, the damage, the purge, and everything else. So definitely it was a good execution in the first place and why they were able to burn down Tempest initially. But still, the big picture, it was a 1-for-1. Yet they did get the buyback, so definitely a one fight for Complexity.
If anything else, though, forcing that buyback and getting that kill to initially screw over the Tempest is important, because you look at the late game, and whenever you see a Tempest, ultimately getting that Shrunken Head into a Portal Key, into a Restoration Stone, that's sort of the timer you're fighting up against, and, well, making him buy back, just putting a huge dent in his early resources.
Yeah. Shrunken
proved
Head Master.
Have a resounding effect throughout the rest of the game.
Gauntlet's been saving up a bit.
Yeah, I haven't seen him really pick up anything since his last Portal Key.
Yeah.
So definitely
Right?
the role of a little bit of a hoarder there.
Token of Life still on Witch Slayer, remember, so keep that in mind here if you're Complexity. That still have to deal with that, and we'll see if Stay Green looks to use that here soon. Or take advantage of it, I should say.
And we saw Master Arms going that Shrunken Head route. The thing is, where will he go from here?
Yeah.
Geometers is a pretty common pickup, and
yeah.
you're looking at the Hellborn team, and so
the Nullfire Blade.
Nullfire Blade.
Solid. Damage output.
It's an option. I think I'd still rather see the Geometers. In terms of, it gives him that mobility he needs in combination with the Energizer. He moves so fast.
Yeah.
Gets the extra range, a nice escape mechanism, nice bonus damage. Just a very well-rounded pickup for a carry Master of Arms. So.
Trough, his decision to make. Shrunken Head picked up on War Beast. So Kizu, again, he's definitely recovered in a bit of farm and managed to pick up that Shrunken Head now on top of the Abyssal Skull and Steam Boot, so he's coming along pretty nicely. Maybe think Soul's Bulwark next in line for him, perhaps.
Yeah, I like to see the Soul's Bulwark actually onto the War Beast rather than the Pebbles. I feel like Demonic Breastplate is such a critical pickup for War Beast, especially scaling to the late game.
Yeah.
You have the lower base attack time. When you use your ultimate, attack speed works wonders, and, well, ultimately, after Demonic Breastplate, it lets you transfer to a Brutalizer much easier as well.
Yeah. The damage charts. Pharaoh's usually up on the damage charts for good reason.
Well, yeah, the constant rocket spam. If you're not top on the, you're not using your spells if you're not at the top of the damage charts with Pharaoh. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Great job by Moon Meander, but it's to be expected.
Yep. He's sitting on the helm of the Black Legion himself. So bulking up a bit. We know Barbed Armor, as you talked about that, especially with him versus War Beast, the cage. Gonna get Barbed Armor.
Interesting that they actually haven't used the token yet. Stay Green, normally a team that's pretty adamant about using the token to find an advantage.
Yeah.
Would be weird if they just let it expire.
Yeah, it's we'll see.
I think it actually tells you a lot about sort of how they feel the game is going right now. Feeling like it's actually a huge risk, even with that token, to make something happen. They don't want to risk throwing it. Grouping up here, though, Witch Slayer does still have it up, but I don't know. Are they going to choose to commit?
Pebble's going to lead the way here. War Beast pushing up. Again, this first tower is still here. We're nearly approaching the 30-minute mark. This is not the first time Stay Green has been down at this part. Again, it's what's on the line, man. The big prize pool, the title of the DreamHack champions. It's causing these. It really does seem like it is even affecting Stay Green more to an extent. So you're right. I mean, the not using, not really pushing a hole aggressively, especially when they have the Token of Life, and even right there, just kind of falling back, just not looking to pick a fight.
Of course, I credit some of that to the time being used up with that excellent initiation initially.
Yeah.
They're behind the second tower, but. Remember, to claim the token, he initially had to use a buyback. And it was an important one. It did definitely set the game back in a little bit in Stay Green's favor, at least built up the momentum there and shifted to a quick Conqueror kill after fending off Complexity.
Yeah.
Now, though, a lot of time has passed, and well, they're going to have to make a play sometime soon.
Seems like it. Got a Shield Breaker on Master of Arms, of course. So we get the answer there as far as what he chooses to follow up with. The Shrunken Head and Energizer. Raw damage output, minus armor.
It's always either Gemmer's Bane or Shieldbreaker, going for the Shieldbreaker route in this game. I guess in terms of debuffs, I mean, you can't use your Gemmer's Bane to escape a miniaturization. If they had a Glacius, something like that, it might make a little bit more sense. But yeah, going up against the AoE, I suppose that's a little bit more into it.
Back to the top lane goes Complexion. In the meantime, Stay Green, they're a little grouped up here in the middle lane. Gonna push it out somewhat, at least.
I can just feel the tension building here. I can feel the tension building. They're both sitting back, farming their items. Witchslayer, the token did run out. It's been quite some time since Conqueror was slain. I've got a feeling like with that War Beast, they're sort of waiting for that card to come back up, and they'll use it as a way to sort of hustle Complexity to them.
Yeah. Stay Green at War Beast at least, pushing this bottom lane right here, just spamming that battle cry at level 4, the no mana cost, 25-second.
31 minutes is first tier tower.
Yeah, again,
still not destroyed. I mean, that actually is the biggest sign of anything of maybe Stay Green playing a little more passive in light of the circumstance.
3 or 4 times it seems like to actually
not
push
their first rodeo down here.
Here we go again. Is gonna try it out one more time. Look at that, though. We will find a present right there. Master of Arms gonna be dropped. Witchslayer Johnson, put him on Cosmo there. Pharaoh with the follow, gets sucked back, and Witchslayer will fall before anything. Money Wall's caught up as well. Tempest yelling about the point is canceled immediately. Barbed Arm is up on Pharaoh, and down goes Jesse. The buyback is happening for Tsunomouse, but Pebble's also gonna be picked off. Complexity looking strong here. The Forked Lightning, the Power Throw. They are gonna kill Z-Freak on top of that. Gets thrown in the air. Completely clean up at the bottom lane. Another buyback used, remember, by Witchslayer. He's now out of buybacks.
You can call that bait. But initially his team was still catching up. He managed to evade Pebbles long enough. Honestly, Slick's landing an excellent stun. Witchslayer coming for the follow-up. That's how quick B-Kid was, though, before the Silver Bullet could be used. Got the Gauntlet Blast off, interrupted the Witchslayer's approach, managed to drop him before he got any spells off. No bottom towers there, so he bought back and realized, shit, I can't actually get to the fight. I can't get to the fight. The first tier is down. The second tier is down.
Yeah.
Had to walk. Wasn't actually able to approach it. And actually, more of a wasted buyback than anything.
It was a huge waste of a buyback. And you're right. Well, what was he going to do with that buyback?
It was probably just instant, gut reaction. Like, if I don't buy back, we're going to lose this fight. I didn't get my spells. My team needs my disable. I'm clicking. He's like, oh no,
wait a second.
Wasting my last buyback here.
Yeah.
If I get picked off, I mean, they're really relying on that Witchslayer lockdown. They really are. Now. Complexity, you cannot deny that they're in a very, very strong stance there. They forced the buyback on Tempest before. They outlasted the token. Both buybacks being used on Witchslayer. Is there a chance we can actually go back and take a look at that fight? I mean, I feel like it just affected the pacing of the game so much. It would be a shame not to take another look at it.
Yeah, if we do, so with that said, again, we've been doing history replays for
a period of downtime here.
At the arena, obviously, you guys won't be seeing what we're seeing for this part, but for those on the live stream, let's actually take a look back here when we get the chance, get that set up real quickly. So here you go. Here's that bottom lane. They go on a Master of Farms, like you said. They'll
watch this. Watch the Witchslayer. Interrupted right there, on top of the Pharaoh hook. Tableted actually forward. Didn't matter. The Luna Power Throw coming to clean things up, and from there on out, the Pharaoh Mummy Wall is causing chaos. They have their entire team up. Elemental Void canceled instantly.
And then from there on out, Complexity just cleans on Pebbles Falls, and then eventually Pyromancer, of course. So big stance there for Complexity, and no doubt a big momentum boost in this game. That was, I mean, you were talking about it. We both were. It's just games like this, especially where just things are so timid. It's just that one fight, all of a sudden it swings. Even though the golden experience lead might not be a lot, when you look at it from a number standpoint, 34.5 minutes in, just the mental state, just how things stand and on that side of things, it most certainly is even bigger when it comes down to it. So Stay Green finding themselves in a hole here that's tied 1 game apiece. Again, the winner of this wins DreamHack Summer 2013. The favorite team coming into it.
And once again, a lot on the line. So Melton's the point. This is like 3rd, 4th, 5th attempt. I think it was the 4th attempt, he said.
4th or 5th,
at DreamHack. And first time on the main stage. And the entire team, they won GSL, they won Hontor. They were looking for DreamHack to complete that, holy trio of victories and potentially prove their worth as the best team in Heroes of New Earth history.
Yeah. Well, again, we've mentioned this several times. Not only is Complexity the runner-up DreamHack team from DreamHack winner 2012, but they were also the big dogs going into that event, similar to Stay Green going into this event. And Complexity, of course, lost in the end to it, then trademark esports, not knowing them
So
as
is it the
Sticker
curse
EU.
of the expectation from the crowd maybe coming in
Possibly.
to play, or the pressure when it's all on the line?
That's maybe something. Tralfmador at the bottom lane. He does have that level 3 shield breaker now, so.
Well, I want to stress that this game is so far from over.
Oh, yeah.
I want to take a look back at that game, Stay Green EU versus Stay Green, in the playoffs, where we saw they had a War Beast, they had a Tempest, they actually had a Pebbles too. Pretty much a very similar composition. Wound up having a Fade in that game, if I recall correctly. They had a Fade instead of a Witch Slayer and maybe something else, but that was that game where they were down 2 sets of racks.
Yeah,
and still managed to come back. So if you think this game is over just because of one team fight bottom and
it's not so much.
A little bit of momentum and buybacks being that, no, not at all.
I mean, Stay Green definitely can come through adversity for sure. And again, it's not. It honestly isn't an overwhelming lead by any means. Here
no, I mean we've seen.
It's just that momentum.
Wouldn't feel confident at all if I was Complexity.
Yeah, we still got plenty of game left for sure. So.
I think
we'll just laugh a little bit.
Yeah, let's laugh a little bit there. And
I think we both know what we're talking about.
You tell the moment of silence as we're just like, noted.
That just happened. Okay, interesting.
Interesting. Not the first time I've seen it.
Yeah.
But you know what? Did show himself on the creep wave.
Yeah, I mean I think it's pretty obvious. He does have the portal key on
Pick
Pharaoh,
up onto Pharaoh, so
gonna try to get better positioning, maybe for simply setting up a good mummy wall, I would assume.
Even setting a good mummy wall, or actually getting potentially angles where you need to access the hero with your hook, you're not able to reach them.
Of course. Portal key Pharaoh. Wow. I didn't think I'd be saying those 2 words together.
Well, you actually saw it. It was in that game. I forget who they were playing against. Maybe it was against VDT, but he wound up using that portal key. Actually, maybe it was against. Was it against Sacred? He wound up using a portal key hook at one of the games we were casting in this tournament to steal Kongor token in a major team fight. Yeah, it was a huge play.
I have it in my mind, you know, what play you're talking about, but I can't get any.
It was definitely the game-winning moment. They needed the token to win the game. It was against a pretty major team too. I just can't recall who they were against.
It's blanking, man. It's obviously again as we go back to it, it's blurring together, man. Another thing to talk about while we still continue to have a little bit of downtime here is speaking of storylines, Slicks the player, the storyline that he has there. I mean, hold on.
Screw storylines, Breaky.
Pyromancer could have made it. Look at the portal key to avoid any type of stun attempt. It didn't even come out, but I don't think
it's actually pretty dirty too. You look at the portal key, you think of it as a way to get into positioning to land a mummy walls. Actually using the Wrath of Pharaoh to catch a hero out solo and portal keying back.
Yeah, that's true.
Into safe positioning.
You do it quick enough, and before you know it,
they're stuck in the cage themselves.
Yep. Like, where did you go? So yeah, that's
pick off on
big pick off there coming out from Pharaoh. But no, as I was going on about Slicks and the curse, man, he's gotten runner-up plenty of times, especially at this event. He was gotten so close, but not able to actually get the title. Got GSL in the Hontour Grand Finals with Stay Green, but DreamHack, knows dear to his heart. Here we go, Mummy Wall going in once again, but this Mummy Wall misses. It was blocking them off, though, and that is why Kongor is successful. Complexity gets that swag man.
The Storm Spirit coming out.
What a save there. Tempest all the way going to pull him in. And Master of Arms actually joins with us as well. Down goes Pharaoh. Master of Arms padding in the auto attacks. In comes COL. The Tempest will fall. He already Elemental Void though, so definitely not the biggest deal in the world. Master of Arms comes back on the token life. And Tralfmador will go down. Complexity is starting to fall apart right here. Stay Green winning the fight. Double tap coming up for Kesu, and the rest of Complexity is going to be on the run. You see Alina going with a deja vu. Going to try to do a nice juke right there from Peter Pan Dam using the port. Can he actually get away in the end is the question. You see right there the Storm Spirit, the TP.
The dirty Ophelia Port Storm Spirit combination going to save him.
Yep.
Biggest thing about that fight, though, they had the Token of Life on Master of Arms. Huge plays at the start of it. I mean, Tempest with that Elemental Void, though, level 16. Pretty much full duration coming out. Locked Master of Arms, they got the initial kill on the revive using the Blazing Strikes to his face. Securing the kill.
The biggest thing for me, and I can't believe, you know, honestly the positioning as yet they are going to find Ophelia. I was just watching that the whole time, trying to get away right here. Riser was trying to be crafty, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Yeah,
they were searching everywhere.
Not gonna get
far
away.
And near to find him.
Well played right there by Stay Green to chase him out. So. But no, going back to that fight though, and if we do have that actually, that would actually be good to look at here, because the positioning of Master of Arms was, I
felt like pretty far in, right? Like
he really dove in right there. on the Master of Arms. So here you go. That's the Mummy Wall that went up initially. Again, he did that to block them out from Conqueror attempt.
Right, and then he's walking out. He's thinking, it looks like he's going to be fine. The Storm Spear was huge. This is where they actually get in too far, though. Master Arms, he actually walks into it. Oh, no, with the Shrunken Head activated.
Yeah, that was a
the entire time he could have been punting auto attacks into the Pebbles. Pebbles instead absolutely destroying him during his Shrunken Head. Now the revive. Instantly caught into the Witch Slayer Sun, the Blazing Strikes, the ultimates, whatever being used. Quickly disposing of him, so honestly, that misstep into the Elemental Void by Tralfador, a fatal mistake, and
I agree.
The most critical component to the complexity, losing that fight.
I hate seeing it.
He's a role of great importance to their team. He was sitting at 400 plus gold rate, thriving here as a hero. All things looking good. One misstep, potentially costing them the game.
Well, if anything, it's potentially it brings Stay Green back into the game.
Well, that's what I mean, though. I mean, before with that token, they were looking pretty dominant.
That's true.
Elemental Void. If he was staying out, putting in auto attacks the entire time, maybe bringing down that Pebbles, whatever, might have established a lead too far to come back from.
Yeah. Again, I hate saying that, especially if we play like Tralfador, man, a good friend, of course, but. Hey, we're right. It's
nothing wrong. I mean, mistakes happen all the time, and
of course,
that happened to be one during a pretty crucial moment.
The big stage here. So, but again, if anything, honestly, I mean, you look at the stats, you look how things are shaping up. We still had a hell of a game here to finish things off here for the DreamHack Summer 2013 event. Warbeast pushing back to the middle end. Obviously, he's had that demonic breastplate now for a little bit, saving up some more gold. Look at this pickup by Pebbles, by the way, going the Axe of the Malphite. Interesting stuff right there. He also has a double damage rune activated, and let's just say you do not want to run into him right now. Holy crap at that damage, Batman. Holy crap. But yeah, Axe of the Malphite coming out for Pebbles right here. I assume that's going to be a Behemoth's Heart to me. The only other option, of course, being the Simple Rage, but seems like it'd be an odd pickup, at least for me, but the Behemoth Star will give him a very beefy presence, of course, against the Legion team. And you figure it is a team with a lot of upfront damage, so if he can survive that, then pretty good. See the top tower going down, though, by Complexity.
Yeah, still confident in applying pressure. I mean, in the previous fight, though, they had a Pyromancer down at the start and a token, but they're not afraid to keep pushing.
They are not, and actually
Pebbles, Pebbles with the whip.
He misses. This could be big. Can they capitalize? Mummy Walls come in. Slicks his hits up, dropping the bar tower is up. They are going to finish. Oh, the Star's being saved in the background. Warby's coming around. He's still going to go nom on somebody. Tempest ultimate going to be canceled immediately. We see Witchblade up in the background, but Swinama's completely overextending. Grapple going to miss right there from B-Kid. Swinama's going to fall, but so does B-Kid. And it looks like Complexity, they are the ones on the run right here. Master of Arms trying to live. The Energizer going off. Can he cut away right here? Warby's being pushed forward. He's not in Metamorphosis. Doing a rear he will kill Pyromancer, but he falls shortly after. It is Ophelia Luna versus Tempest Warbeast. Not a favorable match right here for Complexity. Pharaoh is coming back, by the way. Tempest may
might actually fall.
Oh, auto attack.
One more hit.
Not
Doesn't
gonna
even
happen
power
yet.
throw.
Power throw maybe 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Can he get this kill right here? Tempest trying to juke and jive. Pharaoh jumps in. Mummy Walls pushes him, though. He might have helped him. He will go down. But Warbeast says he's going to come in right here. The barbed armor, however, will deter him a little bit. And it may be the end of the fight in the end. What a back and forth right there, Emperor.
A back and forth, but Warbeast not falling in the end. I've got to give overall credit to Stay Green in terms of who's coming out ahead. When Tralf initially stepped back, Warbeast's ultimate was down, the Tempest Stone was down, but he opted to go kill that Pyromancer. I think he was afraid of just who was actually able to catch him at that point.
Where are we at?
It was in that previous. Can we go take a look at that moment? He actually stepped back to use his stun to kill the Pyromancer.
Okay.
So I'll take a look back at that exact moment to see.
So
no,
that's the beginning
middle
of the fight.
Of it, yeah. Okay,
so,
sure.
Well, I mean, might as well. Obviously, again, so a little bit of downtime here. Might as well go back to that for those on the stream. So there you go. That was the initiation for Pebbles. Like, oh, well, then nobody's there anymore.
Yeah, this is all fine.
Gets initiated on himself, of course.
Pretty early
follow-up.
Amazing Storm Spirit.
Yeah, that was
right
big
there.
Storm Spirit to save Pharaoh initially.
Actually uses the hook at the end there.
You see Chessa gets canceled right away. It looks like maybe just canceled himself, actually.
So Moomiander buys back, of course, and heads over to the fight. Actually, Master Arm still at this point at full health.
Yeah.
Going to get caught by the Tempest Stun and the Pyromancer. The Blazing Strikes used. He's getting brought down here. Warby's chasing the ultimate down. The last Glacial Blast hitting him. Who's that? Tempest, Pyromancer. They don't have Portal Keep yet. Just afraid, I guess, that he can't keep running away there.
Yeah.
and choosing to turn it around. I don't know if I...
Yeah, so what were you referring to here?
Well, the fact that he turned around there in the first place, I felt like he
Okay,
could have kept moving for a bit and maybe even salvaged there in the end.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it was a very difficult spot to be in there. And again, you see SG finishing it off right there. Eventually, you know more, but back to the live game we go. So, whew, boy, oh boy. Yeah, perhaps Pharaoh can get the trees there at the last second too.
They keep knocking on
they are.
SG's door. I wanted to mention, you know, Warbeast survived last fight and being pretty much the primary late game presence here. Really important for Stay Green and KZU. Now with the Brutalizer completed.
Yeah. Oh, Pebbles again says, get in there, Master Bomb. Shrugganek gonna go after this. Is Geometer's Pain. And Tropanor needs to get that better positioning. Mummy Wall up in the foreground again. Barb Driver's up as well. Well, look at Warbeast. He's going straight for Master of Arms. Wanted to chase him down. Tempest in the background, trying to get the ultimate off. It does go off, it looks like. It is pulling them on the miss of the hill right there. Pharaoh does go down. Storm Spirit going to be used on Tropanor. Being ported back. Will it be in time? No, it will not. He goes down before he gets ported. Aluna's going to die as well. And Stay Green again holds it off at the base. And Complexity needs to really make some strong decisions here because they're quickly falling out of hand.
Honestly, I have to point back to the middle fight. You know, they're pushing down the top base over and over again. You know, they're making a point here that they feel like they can't contend in the late game here against this Tempest, against this Warbeast. You saw right there, Warbeast doesn't even care, man. Charged right on through the entire team, began to click the Master of Arms. Didn't get that lucky Brutalizer proc. If he did, you could have seen Master of Arms dropping a lot sooner at that point. Making a point they needed to end the game, and you go back to that mid-fight where they were overall looking pretty sharp and stepping into the Elemental Void, and that token would have assisted them greatly going into these base pushes in the first place, which even after losing that fight, they still went for.
Look at that. Towers cleared. 2 towers cleared by Stay Green, and wow, I mean, talk about just shifting momentum big time here.
It's the matter of minutes.
Yeah, Stay Green. And they were the ones being pushed on. Again, you were making the point that Complexity insisted on constant. They
were being pushed on because they felt like they were on a timeline, though. They felt like they couldn't wait for another token because they knew Warbeast was continually farming up, getting close to the Demonic, the Brutalizer, and eventually becoming that huge late game threat that we know Warbeast to be.
Yeah.
And thus they were trying to force the fight and end the game right there, especially in light of the fact that, well, they knew buybacks were used early. They knew Witchlayer had no buybacks, and felt like it may have given them an edge.
Man, oh man. Crazy game. We have to finish things off here. Again, the port back as well from Affiliate. That had to be very close to actually sending Master of Arms back, but
even if it did, their team was going to be cleaned up in the end.
Oh, yeah.
As long as Warbeast survives.
What,
Point is, how do they kill him now?
Yeah.
They have a ton of disable. Pebble's even picking up that Behemoth's heart.
Yeah, exactly. You
target.
Don't
How do you stop him?
You send Pharaoh in, put the Mummy Walls up around it, really. I mean, and they try to pick off his teammates, but I don't know if you're killing him at this point if you're Complexity. Unless you just get the catch on him, of course, completely out of position, but the chances of that happening probably pretty slim, let's be honest. So for now, though, Complexity, I mean, you look at the lanes and everything, Complexity is still pushing it back, but
they are, but Stay Green is in absolute total control of this game. As I said before, the top lane pushes, the top base pushes without the token were in active desperation due to the fact that they felt their lineup was on a timer. Now that Stay Green has control of the game, with Congo respawning, they can use that to try to, well, Complexity, they can't win a fight here without Stay Green possessing a token. Even before, at the previous resource, they've since picked up major items and added token on top of that mess. And, you know, all Rubies has to do pretty much is hit R, activate that Shrunken, go AFK and win the fight.
Metamorphosis. Like you said, right click, attack move, and then be done, basically. So 49.5 minutes in here. Again, game number 3. The winner of this, it's going to late over there, man, but hell, it's getting late over here even. That's just crazy to even say, but
yeah, well,
team's battling it out to the very end here, man.
It's how we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Would not have liked to see a quick 2-0 stomp in this game. Back and forth for a while, but this is the first time in the game I can say that one team has an advantage where... Oh, actually, it's ported out there, or I didn't see?
No, it's just the illusions.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the illusions for a moment. Sorry, a little bit distracted there. But yeah, the first time I can clearly say that one team has an absolute dominant advantage. Complexity pretty much going to spend the rest of the game running, or if not, trying to find a crucial pickoff.
Yeah.
If there was one hero they could gank to turn this game around. Witchslayer, they know he doesn't have the buybacks.
Yeah, true. He ain't coming back, so with that said as well, Witchslayer doesn't need to worry about saving up the money in the end, just gonna simply spend it when he can, I'm sure.
Sure.
So something else to keep in mind there. Both teams back to that state of we're ready. We're going to wait for the right opportunity here.
Yeah, when this state occurred before, though, was when the game was still at a pretty even state, and eventually there was that bottom fight, which Complexity caught the Witchslayer out, and initially the force by the buyback, which wound up being a total waste by Swindle Melons. Not really mattering in the end here, seeing as how they reclaimed control.
I don't even know if we actually fully mentioned this, but the Behemoths was finished on Pebbles. So
we did.
Okay.
When talking about targets that they have so many people, they can't take out Warbies, they can't take out Pebbles. They have the Tempest sitting on the Burial Shrunken Head combination, Dick on his own right.
Yeah.
I just feel like they've gotten to a point where they really just have to stay green to completely botch their initiation step, way out of position, and once again capitalize on the Witchslayer, who, given the fact that she's lacking buybacks, maybe force a 5v4 situation.
Yeah. 3,000 life pool on Pebbles. By far the tankiest hero in the game. Well, I shouldn't say by far, but he's up there. He is the top life pool hero in the game.
One of the things that actually, the criticism on Gauntlet Falls compared to the other burst initiators like Pebbles, like Deadwood, is that in the late game he tapers off more. And that's why people usually prefer those picks when available. We saw here he had strong early game presence, but not able to contribute as much right now.
Tralfamador, level 22 here. He definitely has a good level curve going. Obviously, Warbeast also level 22.
Keeping on pace with the Warbeast, but even at similar farm and similar experience, you saw in the previous fight, all Warbeast has to do is just run up and click him. Warbeast pretty much fully itemized at this point. Ultimately can remove himself from that Abyssal Skull and get another pickup. We actually saw him pick up Dawnbringer in a former game as well. Just a lot of anti-kite there.
You see the Frostburn.
Part of the thing about Frostburn and why he picks it up is even when his ultimate ends, he's still actually able to chase down heroes, make something happen.
Not needing to worry about getting kited.
How fast he's attacking, and when he's in ulti form, has built-in crit. 340 damage here. The minus armor coming out, the magic immunity.
Jeez. Yeah, and that's without the metamorphosis form, like you're talking about the crit, so. Complexity knows that, the one fight is pretty much going to do it here. They need a very successful fight, a gank even on a hero like Warby somehow. Really have a solid chance in this game, because at this point, fighting just straight on is probably not going to happen here. So we continue to be safe here on both sides. Not going too radical as far as the positioning goes again. Not a whole lot of even being in the lane, honestly.
Once again, this is the Stay Green looking to expand their lead to a point where they actually feel like they have absolutely zero risk of throwing that game. The no buybacks being a little bit of a fear factor for them. And otherwise, Complexity looking for an angle. I know they're confident, though. I know for sure that they're confident.
Oh, yeah. Would assume so. See, Pebbles kind of sneaking up. Getting. We're going to start getting to that point where all the heroes are going to start being maxed out their items, specifically Warbeast. Maybe even Pebbles to an extent, so.
Dawnbringer finished, and he was saving up for a while before he actually chose to buy it.
Yeah. Pick that up, though. Master of Arms just going to continue to push back the top lane in the meantime. This Tralfamador. He too is sitting on similar items for a while now, so we'll see what he.
There was a previous game in this series where we actually saw Slicks. It was actually against Stay Green, where he wound up playing Master of Arms with a similar item loadout in the end.
Did he? Okay.
Where they winded up, there was that one fight where they baited out the Shrunken Heads near Kongor, and they eventually won a team fight, took Kongor, and then he actually winded up buying a Doombringer to try to turn the game around, but there were 2 sets of racks down.
That's right.
Desperate times sometimes call for desperate measures.
You never know. Wouldn't that be fun? You see right here. Complexity definitely got into some things out and realizing that Stay Green. They may want that Kongor, so you know how important that would be. This is the third Kongor kill? Is it the third? This is the second.
Is it the second?
Again, the games
I
are
thought it
blending
was
now.
the third. I honestly thought it was the third. I think.
Well, big man. Oh, here we go. Initiation. Master Ron's going to get Hex right there. Warby's going in. There's that Star Spirit going to be his own. In the meantime, Aluna's going to be down in the background. The elemental will get them, but Master Ron's bursting just like that. Will he come back in? Yes, he's going to buy back. Mummy Wall catches several, but Pharaoh's going to fall immediately without Master Farms here. Nowhere near enough damage for Complexity. And Stay Green making a big statement right here. Oh, no, for Complexity. That's big. I mean,
you did see the buyback. They're actually trying to essentially make something happen here in response, but I mean, they lost the 5-on-5. No way they're able to make that happen here. Token gonna be acquired onto Witchslayer once again, and that's crucial considering Witchslayer was the one here we were looking at being like, oh, maybe because of the fact that he has no buyback, if they pick him off, forcing that 5v4 advantage. No longer able to do that. Stay Green about to win the grand final.
Yeah, unless honestly some miracle for Complexity. This is looking very, very grim for them. You got to feel and Pharaoh still dead, of course. The push with the base right here. Vulnerability is going to be activated. Delaying a little bit. Master of Arms running. He's going right for Witchslayer. Obviously, that's an illusion right there, so wouldn't be that suicidal. But the melee rack's going to go down. So Complexity also making a point that, you know, you have the advantage here. There's no way we're going to throw ourselves at you. Congratulations, you got our melee racks. That's basically what just happened. So they know they're not going to win the game right there. They're just going to hope for some other chance.
Still, with a lot on the line, I don't expect them to rush this.
Yeah.
By any means, take the time, expand the lead as much as you can, and go in from there. Mentioning before, Witchslayer not having any more buybacks, he's able to actually spend his gold on whatever item pickup he so chooses. Is would be best for his team. Actually has a pretty solid loadout as is now, though.
Yeah. See Pharaoh coming in right here. Gonna scout things out. In the meantime, in the middle lane, Gauntlet. Continue to pick up this farm. Again, Complexity just in a spot of they're desperate for sure. We kind of wonder what their composure's like right now. We are approaching, we're getting close to an hour-length game right here, ladies and gentlemen. Here in game number 3 here at the Grand Finals for DreamHack Summer 2013. Winner of this match, winner of this game right here, does win the event. Takes home $18,000 as well as title of DreamHack champion. Runner-up will go in with $8,000. Still some good money, but obviously a lot more for first. And that title is always important. And just the satisfaction. So right now, Stay Green.
The patience they're playing with. And going back to the game where Stay Green you lost, they had that giant advantage, and I felt like they were just trying to force it way too much. Stay Green's like intent in this case. Sort of waiting to make Complexity make a fatal mistake, knowing that they have the late game advantage as is.
Kind of warning going on there. Obviously, some side Pebbles jumps in. Mommy Wall's going to be used though, pushes him back. A pretty good placement right there. May stall this fight for a little bit, but look at Pebbles still going in. Bananas on him. He is going Rambo status right now as Lex. He wants this Pharaoh, knows they have the advantage, knows they have the push. You look at Warby's in the front lines going nom, nom, nom. There goes Pebbles on a Master of Arms. The Star Spirit coming down. Tabs on them in the background though. It's going to be a full lockdown. Master of Arms will fall. Stay Green looking good once again. The Mummy Walls go up. Down goes Gala right there. Down goes Pharaoh. And did Stay Green just really do it right there? They're going to chase down Aluna. She was trying to run away with a Deja Vu. Going to get miniaturized, however. And Peter Pan Dam will also be picked off in the end. A double tap for
fights
Slicks.
in a row. They didn't take a single death. 4 for 0 exchange. Did see the final buyback used by Troubadour actually porting to the bottom lane and getting it out of his team's face for a bit, but ultimately forced to retreat and try to pose a final defense here.
Yeah. Again, I mean, it's grand finals. You don't expect it to concede, honestly. Just play it out, see anything, but obviously very, very grim at this point. Stay Green just going to push right in. Complexity, again, if you're going to do something, you got to do it here shortly. Or else you're going to be even seeing mega creeps. The bottom lane, I guess, still does exist, so not mega creeps just yet, but 2 sets of racks are down. Free racks right there after all the killing that happened. And Stay Green is going to fall back now. So Complexity, they're going to wait for the resurrections here. They're probably, oh, nope, they say, you know what,
they're
you got
calling
it.
the
GG
GGs.
well played.
They're realists in the end. They're competitors. They know the situation they're in.
Stay Green. They are your DreamHack
That's
Summer
it.
2013
They claimed the prize. Slicks, Swindles, he's been trying forever. They've all been trying for the longest time, man.
Yep.
They finally made it, so congratulations, Team Stay Green.
There you go. You see right there, Stay Green understandably happy, of course. Music's loud, the fans cheering. Again, very, very deserving. They were the big dogs coming into the event. They had the slump. They lost the 3 games in a row. VDT, Complexity, and Stay Green EU all defeating them. They did not let that phase them. They're down an immense amount. One of the greatest comebacks we've ever seen in the first round of the winners bracket there against Stay Green EU.
All right, guys.
And, you know, what better team to win it really in the end, right? So, Stay Green.
They proved, man, they're a team worth their salt.
We'll go over to Sam now. Looks like Milkbat there. He's going to...
All right, guys. You've been doing it all night. Kyle's been doing it all night. I think it's something that he wants to do with all of you. You ready, Kyle?
Stay green, of course. Oh, are they actually? That was kind of quiet the first time. Are you sure?
Yes.
Stay what?
Stay green.
Stay what? Stay what?
Let's go. All right, guys. Stay green. $18,000. First place at DreamHack Summer 2013. Ace, are we ready with those checks? All right, guys. Second place, we have Complexity Gaming for $8,000. Let's give it up for Complexity Gaming. Your DreamHack Summer Champions, Stay Green! Come right over here, guys. Your DreamHack Summer Champions, Stay Green and Complexity. Let's give it up for both of them. All right, Kyle. So, you won GSL, the Garena Star League. You won Han Tour Season 1, and now you've won DreamHack Summer. What does this mean to you and your team?
Honestly, this one meant the most out of all 3. It was definitely the toughest competition, and we've lost this way too many times before. I think we probably we're at like a combined 18 DreamHack losses. So this was really, really nice. And you know, props to COL. They put up a great fight. Definitely way better than any previous time we played them. So, you know, it just feels good.
Well said. All right, so let's give it up for SG again. All right, so I gotta ask. You know, for months you guys have been compared to Fnatic, and everybody has been saying, you guys aren't the best until you've won a DreamHack. Do you think that's finally been settled?
Oh, it's the same reason nobody's better than Jordan. You need more rings, so 2 more lands, and yes, we are. But until then, comparisons are cool, but no.
So humble. So humble. All right, this one's for Slicks. You've been here more than anybody. You've been on this stage so many times, but you've never walked away with the first place and that big check. What does this mean to you, knowing that your parents are out there right now watching you?
It feels awesome. I'm really happy that I finally won a DreamHack. I've been here 4 times. Just so pumped. Today's games are really amazing, all close games, and I'm so happy that we came out ahead in the end.
There, well said, well said. All right, guys, before we wrap up, I just want to, of course you can give a shout out.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a big shout out to the families of Team Stay Green, because you guys are all watching and looking at me right now, so thank you guys very much. Happy Father's Day to all of our dads, especially mine. Thanks, Papa Freak. Mom, my brothers, everybody else. Anybody else to add? Yeah. And all the friends out there rooting for us and all the fans. Thank you guys very much for your support. We appreciate it a lot. You guys rule. Yeah, there we go. All right, sorry, here we go.
All right, guys, before we wrap it up, I just want to say thank you to all the players, and most importantly, thank you to all your fans. I just want to let you guys know that in an entire of Han's history, this was the most watched event of all time. So let's give it up to all you guys, everybody in Thailand, everybody in Garena. We fucking killed it! Woo!
Language, yes, Sam, language.
You know, it was an exciting moment for everyone. It's easy to get lost. I know that much.
No, I've been there before myself. You know, kind of in the moment of the speech and everything. No, but man, I mean, that was cool. Talk about humble, man. Swindle melons.
Right. I actually didn't expect that, but really honorable response.
That was.
Seeing the emotion actually coming out from everyone, especially Slicks there. He said it just felt so good. I mean, actually, we had to tear up a little bit, honestly, watching it. I mean, as a former hero, you can just feel the hype, and you can feel the relief in that victory. Especially, it was a hard-fought final game, man.
It was.
There was a point where I thought Complexity was in the same spot that basically Stay Green was near the end.
Yeah.
Especially with that token pickup, but man.
What I mean, the you talk about emotions, especially for obviously for all the teams, really for Stay Green and Complexity, but Stay Green, the roller coaster ride that they went through this event. I mean, the highs at the beginning, then the very big lows with the losing streak, and then the losing early on to Stay Green a year, then the high again with the roller coaster, and then winning of that, and getting to the grand finals. But then in the grand finals, that's when the Melons put it. I mean, that was a tough. Man, that was not a rollover by any means, any word of it. I mean, that was just a tough battle by both teams. Stay Green, though, very deservingly so, do come out on top, and they are crowned again your DreamHack Summer 2013 champion. So. I mean, what an event it's been. I mean, Sam pretty much summed it up pretty well. It's most viewers, the most attention. I think it's been the most successful event we've ever ran in terms of just how smooth it went. I mean, from both the production side, from the player side, nothing but great comments. It was definitely something to remember. So
I agree.
Hopefully, you guys.
The best production I've ever personally been a part of too. So.
Yeah.
That's
hey, I can even
amazing
say that.
experience.
I can say that,
You've been here forever. I mean,
I've been here forever.
You are Heroes of New Earth competitive coverage since the start, Breaky.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been the best that we've ever had. I have no problem saying that whatsoever. I mean, it definitely really has. So definitely shout out to you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed all of it. Obviously, it all comes to an end, though. It always is tough, but it all comes to an end. 3 days later, we do have our DreamHack champion. So you think back and just all the matches that we had, and it was some crazy stuff. As far as if you missed any of the action, we're going to do our best to get up all the VODs ASAP. But even before that, you can actually go to twitch.tv/Honcast. You go to the video section and you can check out the past broadcasts, the full streams for all 3 days as well. On top of that, while you're even waiting. So, as far as final words go. I want to give you the chance first. Final word shout-outs to kind of wrap up everything here.
As always, firstly, shout out to the community. Thank you so much for watching. As you mentioned before, apparently we had the most viewers ever in Heroes of New Earth history watching this final stream, so that's amazing to hear. It's been an awesome ride. Otherwise, got to give a big shout out to Beef over there on Complexity on helping us cover every single match in this series. We took all of the huge games too, so through thick and thin, Beef was there providing excellent content over there, and got to give him a huge shout out before anyone else. So. Yeah, honestly, that's it. Thank you to everyone who's helped make this an amazing production. Shout out to our I call it new, but he's been here a couple months. But overall, since Central Grand Finals, where you initially jumped on, our new producer, Panman, absolutely killing it, as you guys can see.
Yeah, shout out to not only Panman outside as far as the producer goes. I mean, just the whole team. I always hate listing off names because I know I'm just gonna forget somebody. But especially there at the event, you got Milkfed, Ace Jr., Redeem, as you know him as. I even know him as Chris, Brenton, of course, that's the Fox account. A.k.a. Brad Pitt, Anna from here. You got Waza, obviously, the creator of Solstice. Waza there, no, he definitely did a fantastic job at one of the best segments we've ever had here on Honcast, where he keeps getting lost, man. We got to put a bell on him or something for the Where's Waza segment. But, shout out to just all the people involved, really. Shout out to this guy over here, Amura, Aku Taco, for helping us out. I mean, so many names to list, but again, you know who I'm talking about as far as if you had any involvement whatsoever with this event. Shout out to S2 Games and Heroes of New Earth especially Because without them even in the first place, we wouldn't even be here. So, really, guys, it definitely means a lot that we got through this, and it went very smooth for the most part, and we definitely appreciate your feedback and comments and whatnot. With that said, we will always be looking for more feedback eventually, and as far as over the next couple of days here, as wrapping up, and to kind of see what you guys thought, and what of course as always we can improve on. So. Not much else other than that. To kind of echo what Swinnemelons did say, shout out to the family, especially, again, the Happy Father's Day. A little bit delayed here now somewhat, but still Happy Father's Day.
Sort of missed all that and just probably reiterating for them out there.
Yeah, so, again, not much else to say other than that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap things up. Unless, Panman, you want to come on the mic? You got any words to say? I mean... He doesn't. Okay,
he's a silent guy behind the scenes, just making everything work.
But I've got nothing to say. It was just awesome working with you guys, and it's been amazing.
How nice he is! You can hear it in his voice.
He's just a nice guy.
Get out of here!
I just like this Panman guy. You can just hear him. He's so nice. No, it's been fun. It's been fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Again, a big shout out to Stay Green and Complexity, especially for making it to the final. Stay Green, though, the ultimate champions. Wrapping it up. DreamHack Summer 2013 has officially come to a conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. Stay Green are your tournament champions. We'll see you next time.